Hey, this is Elaine with Sweet Stampin' coming to you live this Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a great week. I am very excited to show you today how to get the most out of your kits, paper pumpkin kits, the regular kits. Hi, Joan, and making more cards and using all the pieces. And so I have a lot of tips and tricks to share with you about kits, and I'm going to be using the current paper pumpkin kit for August, as well as the 3 paper pumpkin kits, or no, regular kits that came out this month. Also this month, the in color sale is still happening, so items that have in colors in them and in color items from 2025 to 27 are on sale. It's a really great sale, so make sure to check that out. All right, so I want to do a little review of some of the cards we made last week with the painterly pears. Just a beautiful, beautiful suite, and of course watercoloring is what I love about it. So I've got some of the cards that we made and that I finished after the live to show you. Hi, Louise. Let's go here. And here are the cards. What am I seeing? Okay. And so this one I finished, and I ended up just stamping the pears. They're not watercolored, but I used Darling Duckling and Mossy Meadow. So I combined the 2 colors to give the pears a little bit more richness and dimension, and then added a little white piece with a strip of the same DSP inside. So that turned out nice. And then this is another one I made after the live. Simple, stamped again the pears in both colors. And then this one I finished as well. This is the Z-fold card that I did, and used the textured notes dies around it. And these are cutouts from the designer series paper. And then more cutouts. This one I created on the live. Here's one that I showed on the live with this fun little flap made with the everyday arches, but it still has room inside for notes. And then finished this one where I did the watercolor wash behind, and then I did the little very faint stamping there with the elements of text. Hi, Judith, thanks for joining us. And this one I showed before. It was with these other ones where I took the same piece of DSP and cut it up into 6 pieces, and then used some of the cutout pears on each of the pieces. And so those turned out very lovely. And this is another watercolor one that I did using the painted stripes, and then also did the watercoloring on the pears. I love it. I love using the 3 colors. I love how it turns out, and you have that little bit of petal pink in there that you can see, and the Darling Duckling and the Mossy Meadow, and it turned out just so nicely. And it's such a fun little way to do some easy watercoloring. And then this one I finished it up. It's just simple card like I said it would be. And then here's another one. I'm gonna put a white thing in there, and it looks like this is a little crooked, so I'll fix that too. So I'm gonna put a little white piece in there to write a note. But as you notice, these are like all thank you cards, because I always need so many thank you cards. But it's great. And then this is another one that I showed. So lots of fun cards. I'm going to, let's see, which one do I want to give away? I think I'll give a choice of this simple one or this simple one to our winner. So let's go to our fun wheel, and welcome to Pam as well. Oh, I put it right there, right in front. Okay, so let me put that one away, and then let's go to our wheel here. Yes, and we've got our names all in here, and I'm just gonna hide that and expand that, and then we're ready. Okay, so here we've got everybody's names, and we're gonna give it a spin and see who we have. Oh, Judy, lucky Judy. Okay, you get to pick one of these cards, Judy. So take a good look at them. Let me go back here. So take a good look at the cards and let me know which one you would like, and I will send it to you. So I've got your name on the little postcard. Hey Gwen, hey Margaret, hey Sherry, and you can pick one of those cards. Okay, so today I'm gonna start with the Brighten Your Day kit. So this kit, I think the pictures don't really reveal the beauty of these cards. So I, like I normally do, have created the card as shown in the instructions. I did cut them all in half. I always cut them all in half. That's the number one way to get more cards, is to cut all the cards in half, and I pretty much do that with every kit. So this one I swirled on a little bit more balmy blue, and the contrast is much better, and you can really see the details of the die cut. So normal, brushed some balmy blue on there, and then this one I added color to the birds and the branches with just blending brushes. Just use those. So fun things that you can do here. And so that's 3 of the cards, but I have 3 more of these backgrounds that I can use on other cards. So this purple one right here, the back of it is like a Highland Heather. So this is how it comes. And then this is the Fresh Freesia side, which I think is the front side of this card. So these are normal, and then I just added a little bit of bling. These faceted gems are being retired, and so I wanted to show those off because they are perfect on anything and just really, really pretty and add a lot of shimmer and glimmer. And then I also did this card where I colored it in, the flowers, then the leaves. So you guys let me know, what do you think? Do you like just how the kit comes? Do you like the colored in ones? But you can see in person, these are really, really pretty. And the pictures here do not do them justice at all. Okay, so now for the leaves. So this is a regular one. I put it on basic beige cardstock. And then this one, I swirled some more basic beige on there, so you can kind of see how it's a bit darker. But this one, I put some green ink on the fern itself, and I think that one looks the best because there's more contrast, and ferns are green, so there you go. You like the colored in ones too? Yeah, I think those are my favorite too. So because I cut all these cards in half, now I have another 3 of these. And so I've got a basic beige here, and then I have 3 of these. And so 1, 2, 3. And one side is Fresh Freesia and the other side is Highland Heather on this one. So that's kind of fun. You can play around with that. And then I have 3 of the balmy blue. And I decided one side is a little bit darker, and so I think that might look better if you have a white background. So I have the white for this one. And so now I can double all these cards. I don't have any more of the elements, but I could use another stamp set or flowers or whatever. You can use whatever, but you have all of these ready to go to make double the amount of cards. So that is my first number 1 tip. Cut the cards in half and put them on card bases, and you double the cards. So I'm glad you like the colored ones. I like them too. I think they're so pretty. So this is a really, really pretty kit. Normally makes 9 cards, but you cut it in half and then you get 18. Is that right? 3, 6, 9. Yes. But my next trick that you guys are familiar with is, and these envelopes are gorgeous, and they're on kind of a textured paper. There's some texture to it. So you have 3 of the flower ones, you have some of these leaf ones that go with the birds, and some fern ones. And I think if you just cut that out, so I cut this out right here, I guess it goes like that, into 4 by 5 1/4, you have a beautiful card front. Look how pretty that is. And you can just put a sentiment on it with some flowers, like some of the flowers we did in the Extraordinary Flora. And you could put some leaves and things. That would look just so pretty. So that's another 9 for a total of 27 cards. So from one kit, and even you could use this side too. So that's even more. So you could cut this. I usually cut this to measure 4 inches across. So cut that off and then flip this over and just cut this little edge off. And then we'll measure to 4 inches. Go maybe a tiny bit over. And then you can just go to 3 inches. And then you have this really nice piece here that can also be used. So that's another 9 cards for a total of 36 cards. So you could use it on a card going this way, and you could add it to a piece of white. And then you could fussy cut it if you wanted to, add sentiments and flowers. So that's another 9 cards for a total of 36 cards out of one kit. But wait, I'm not done. You can use these as well. So you can get 18 cards plus the 3 pieces here. So that's what, 49 cards? Am I doing my math right? And so you're just going to trim off where the little fold is on there. And then you can just square this up. So we're just gonna square this up. And if you want, you can leave it like that, and you could add that to a card with the envelope curve showing. And let's put it on. I think Fresh Freesia would be better with this one, but that could be really pretty. Or you can cut it down to like 1 3/4, and that makes it, I'm gonna do a little bit less than 1 3/4, and that makes it square. And then it's not quite 5 1/4, it's more like 5 1/8, but you could layer it like that and then get another 9 cards out of that. What do you guys think? So I don't use the envelopes as envelopes. I use them for cards. So I cut these all up, and they're all going to be thank you cards, and I'm just going to have lots and lots of lovely thank you cards that I can use or give as gifts. And it's just a nice way to get more out of these wonderful kits. Okay, so now let's see. I'm going to put those in there. And I'm going to cut those, so I'll put those there. And I'll put all these away, and then I'm going to show you the next kit. So the next kit is different from what we've had before. And this one is called Bunch of Thanks Kit. So this one, the cards are these little like bunches of flowers, which is super cute. And you tie the twine around them, but then when you open them up, they have this little message, thanks a bunch. And then you can also stamp, there's one that says gratitude, but I didn't want to stamp that, so I didn't. So you fold it up, and then there's an extra piece to put on dimensionals on top, and you wrap the twine around it. So I just pulled the twine off, so I should be able to just push it back on like that. And then it makes these cute little cards. So there's 2 designs. So the flowers are a little bit different, and the sentiments are a little bit different. One has so very grateful and thank you, and then thanks a bunch, and then for your love and support. So that's what that one says. And we do have the envelopes, and you can fussy cut that and use that. That's one thing that you could do. There is a stamp set included with this one, and I love the stamp set. I love thank yous. So very grateful and thanks a bunch. These are all perfect cards and sentiments for what I want. But here is what I did with these cards. So there's no like card bases to cut in half or anything. So I couldn't really you know, double the kit, but I made them into cards using the Country Woods Designer Series paper. So I used this blue background like Coastal Cabana. I used the natural wood background, and I just think they're perfect for this designer series paper. And then definitely another one of my favorites is this kind of rustic looking gray background. And so I think it just works perfectly with this kit, and it's not an awkward size because this is a little awkward, and you know, all these things that are hanging off might get bent or damaged. So it's nice to just be able to put it on a card, and then I popped the little flower part up on it and just added the sentiment down there. And then I could add some twine there too. So I could just do a bow and add, I think some twine there would look really nice too. And so they give you quite a bit of twine. So I could do that. And I can use my little guide. So I have these little guides that I've made. I showed it to my class on Saturday and they loved them. So I ended up making a guide for each of my class members and they loved that. So this one I made longer so that, oh, it unstuck. So we'll re-stick that together. Or is this 2 pieces? I don't know. So I'm gonna wind this around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna cut like a tail, a long tail, so that I can make a loop at the top and I can put the end through the middle. So I've got this loop here. And then I'm gonna pull the end through the bottom like that, and then through the loop that I've made. So through the loop, okay? And then you're just gonna pull, pull, pull. And then with twine, I tie a knot again because it's just more slippery than ribbon usually. And then I'm just gonna pull this off. Sometimes it's tight. Oh, okay, it's coming. Okay, and then we can separate the bows. So we have 3, and we can trim up the ends to about there. And then I just use a glue dot. So I'm just gonna grab a glue dot and I roll it up into like a crepe. And then, I don't know why crepe came to mind, but it did. And then I just stick it on there and on the bouquet, and look how nice that looks. So I'm gonna add those to all these cards, and then I'll probably add some, I think maybe some, the textured dots would look nice. These are also retiring, so I'm using things that are retiring. So I think the textured dots would look nice. So let's check it out here and see what it looks like on this card. So we've got some large dots. So I'll put a large dot over here. Yeah, I think it looks nice. And then we've got 2 smaller dots. 1, 2. What do you think? I like it. Super nice. Yep, I might even undo these 2 and make them into those cards. Just because they're just easier to deal with, right? And then I can repurpose this bow as well and make that into one of the bows that goes on the cards. There we go. Unwind that so I can use that. And then let's see what it looks like on this blue. I think it's gonna look really cool. And then we'll do 2 little ones. And go over here. And once I get the bow on, that's gonna look super nice. So yeah, you can just go and add whatever elements you want. And just really step up your kits. So you can really have fun with that. Okay, so these all need ribbon, but this one is complete. And I'm gonna probably cut those up and make those into cards now that I've shown you, because I think those will be more useful to me. And then I use, like I've shown before, I use a dimensionals bag. So you get the dimensionals and they come in this bag here. And I use those for my paper pumpkin and my kit stamps. And so I just fold that over. This one's a little bit smaller stamp set. And then it's not gonna, I'm not gonna lose something in here. And then I'm just gonna keep it. I have a little, my little dice open, and I put it in my dice open, and this is one kit right here. And then I usually display the kits, so I'll display this over in my bookcase with the kits. So that's that one. Okay, so now the third kit is really different. This is a home decor kit, and I have kept all the pieces that you pop out. And I have popped everything out. So these are all the leaves that are going to go in the kit and the acorns. And the instructions are here. And so this is the garland kit. And you're going to need hot glue for this one. And it gives you the instructions on what to cut out and what to put together. And then you start building it along this cord that they give you. So this cord is kind of like, it's bendable, it's got wire in it, and then it's wrapped in not tissue paper, but like, it reminds me of reeds. I forgot the name, but it is a certain type of paper you can get in the craft store. So it's wrapped in that paper. And, oh, I think this is actually supposed to be bent. Whoopsie, because that's your end. So I just unbent the end. So there you go. So you're gonna add all these leaves on and make your garland. But some other things that you could do with this kit is you could use the leaves on cards. So you could take the cards. Yeah, it's kind of like floral tape, but it's raffia. There we go. It's kind of like raffia. That's kind of what it resembles to me, raffia. But these cards already have texture on them. Try and tilt it so you can see that right there. And they're double-sided, and there's lots of different colors, so you can match up like this leaf. Let's do this leaf. Is that two of them? And then you could do some of the gold, and then you could do one of these petals, and you can put that on a card and a sentiment, and ta-da, you have a card. Yeah, it is like crepe, kind of like crepe paper. Yeah, raffia, crepe paper. Yeah, yeah. But so that's one thing that you can do, and look at how many leaves you get. So this could make, I don't even know how many, a ton of cards. And then you save all of these pieces here, especially like the gold foil pieces, because those are not cheap to buy. But then well, the white one, this one I wouldn't keep. The white one, meh, it's just white. So that one I'm not keeping, but all the colored ones I'm keeping, because I can use these with dies or punches. And so I can punch out, like if you have a leaf punch, or if you have a circle punch, or whatever die, if you have some leaf dies, you can just cut, the little piece. Like that would be a little circle. This one has a lot left, so you could get a big circle out of this, and then you could have the circle with some leaves in front of it. So don't throw these extras away. I'm planning on using them. And then I make those little ribbon pieces with the cardboard that comes in the kits. This kit is online. It's called the Harvest Home Garland Kit. So it's meant to be a garland, and I think I am gonna make one garland. But then I think I'm going to either reserve some of the leaves or borrow from another kit and make some cards with it too. So this is the Harvest Home Garland Kit. It is available online, and all these kits are available online. And this one is a little bit more expensive because it has more items in it. But the first one that I showed was only $14. And then I forgot to mention that. And then the second kit, so this Brighten Your Day kit, because it has no stamps in it, $14. And you can get, like I said, it comes with 9 cards, but you can get, what did I say, 49 cards with the envelopes if you cut up the envelopes, okay? So that's a great deal. And then the thanks a bunch is on sale because it has in colors in it. So it's normally, what is it normally, like 20 some dollars, and it is $19.55 right now. So it's normally $23, it's $19.55. So that's a great, all the kits are a great deal in my opinion, because you can, like I said, double them. You can get so much more out of them. And then I love saving these little bags too, because those are good for things too. I like to save those things. Okay, let me look up the garland. And that one is $22. So not really that much more. But wow, this will make a lot of cards. So, and it has the cool acorns too. Those are cool. So that's the garland kit. So we have 3 kits this month, which is amazing. Now we have our paper pumpkin kit. I just got it in the mail. How did this come unglued? Or did I make, am I doing 2 of these? I'm not sure, so I'm gonna put that aside. This one is the Farmhouse Florals. For me, it's a pretty basic kit, but I was able to come up with a few alternatives. But here are the regular cards. Let's see if I can find them. So, no, these are not. These are my cards. Where are the regular cards? Here they are. Okay, so this one, I did not cut it in half, but you could, because this is kind of like, it's not white and there's like little speckles in it. So it's kind of a nice paper. And so that's that one. And then we have this one right here. Pretty basic. You just stamp some of these and then you add this on top and you stamp thank you, put that on top. And then we have this basket, this one, or bag. This one's fun because it's got another bag. So you pop it up and then you pop up some of the flowers. So I think this one's really fun. And then this one, I forgot, you're supposed to stamp that little thing behind it too, but it still looks good. Okay, so those are the 3 basic cards. So now I'm gonna show you some of the different cards. So I took the typewriter and I stamped that same pattern in 2 rows. I stamped the flower from the stamp set. So in this one you get 2 stamp sets. You get 1 free stamp set, which is really cool. So this is the basic stamp set that it comes with. This is this pattern stamp here, sentiments, and then this is that flower. So I kind of made my own designer series paper here. And then the other stamp set has this fun pot that you can put flowers in and some more sentiments and just a larger cluster of this pattern. So this is one card that I did. And then this is another one. I took the envelopes again, and it has, you know, this cool pattern on the envelope. So I cut that down like I just showed you on the other one and put it behind this. And I did cut the card in half. So this is 1/2 of the cards. So you could cut all of these in half and get double the cards for sure. And then I stamped that pot and colored it in with Lost Lagoon and popped it up, and then used some of the flowers to pop up in front. So really easy to add on. The next one that I did is even simpler. I just cut it in half and I just added the thank you from this other card over here to this one, and I didn't put any flowers or anything on this one because I used them on other cards. So just a really basic thank you note that can easily go in the mail. So I did 2 of those. And then this one, I decided to take the extra 2 bags that I had left over, and instead of popping up this handle here on the bag, I put it behind the bag. So you've got one kind of coming up behind the bag. I put the flowers in there. I stamped 2 rows of that pattern, and then I used my blender brush to add some color here. I used Lost Lagoon because that's kind of one of the colors in the kit. And then here I did use the Secret Sea because I was using Secret Sea for everything. And so that's my two bag card from those 2. And then this one is the typewriter again, but I cut it in half and I added hello from the extra die cuts that are an add-on, the Circle of Seasons. And I just left it like that, just hello, and just left that blank. So that's another way to do that card. So the typewriters. So those are all the ones that I've been playing with so far, but I've got a couple extra ones to make with you because that's the most fun part. And so let's see, which one should we do? Let's do this one. So I've got a Secret Sea base, and I've stamped my pot. I've got 2 pots and 2 circles, but I'm just gonna use one. And I'm gonna color this with, I think with the Lost Lagoon. That should be good. So I'm just gonna grab this scrap paper and color it with the Lost Lagoon. Or should I do the Secret Sea? I'm feeling like maybe I should do the Secret Sea. So I think that will be interesting because I've already done one in Lost Lagoon, so I kind of want to do one in Secret Sea. Oh, these are brand new. I don't think I've even used them yet. Wow, I love it. Oh, I just went outside the lines. Oh. So just doing some dark areas, some shadows. I always tend to do them on the left side. And then come back in with some light to blend that in. And this color has definitely been growing on me. I really like it. But this is gonna be our dark, I guess it's a teapot. Is it a teapot? And then we'll just color this in here. Yeah, I hope you guys are liking the ideas. I like making things go further than they were designed to be, to get the most out of what you're purchasing and using. Okay, so I'm just gonna go across there, and that's gonna kind of be the highlight area a little bit. All of a sudden it looks dark again. This is light, right? Yeah, it's light. It's a dark color. Okay, so here's our teapot. And we're gonna stamp some flowers. Okay, so this is gonna go on here, and then we have this stamp here that has like all these flowers on it. And I haven't used it yet, so I'm just gonna rough it up, rub it on my jeans a little bit to get some of that coating off of it. Wow, it even took some of my jean material off. Haven't had that happen before. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a test stamp. So let's do Lost Lagoon. And I wanna clean this off a little bit because now it just feels funny. So I'm just gonna grab a wipe and just kind of wipe that off too. Okay, so let's see what Lost Lagoon looks like. Okay. All right, so now, this brings me to some news about Stampin' Up! Stamp sets that you might have heard. Oh, am I going in and out? Oh no. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it looks like, let's check on here. Interesting. It bumped me off Facebook. Nope, there I am. Okay, so not sure. Sorry about that. Okay, and then on YouTube, hopefully we're back. But my hands are not moving. Well, I'm plugged into the internet, but my husband is messaging or conferencing, so that could be an issue. Everybody's home. And yes, my son is streaming, so that might cause it too. Okay, so let me know when I'm unfrozen, but I'm just gonna continue by coloring the flowers with markers. And this isn't always working on, let's see, what's my other color here? Daffodil Delight? No, it's the Ugly Duckling. And then the Tin Tighter. Let's see. No, it's the Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral is the other color. So I'm just going to bring my markers over. Okay, hopefully it's not frozen anymore. Okay, so let me look up here. Okay, it looks like this camera is, it says active, it says it's still working. So, and I can see that my head is moving, but my hands are not moving. So I'm not sure what's happening. Let me go to just this view right here. And so hopefully you can see me here. But yeah, the phone one is stuck. So let me take a look at the phone view. I'm not sure why that's not working. So let's disconnect the phone. Sorry, technical difficulties here. And so that's disconnected now. And I'm gonna go ahead and close that. And now I'm gonna reopen it. And it wants me to log in again. So we will log in. Okay. And I see it's on there. And let's see if it's not connecting. So there's an issue with the connection. So let's see. Let's stop that. And let's go here. Okay. So I'm gonna try one more time on this one. And it looks like that's not gonna connect. And so I'm gonna close this again. Close. Okay, and then it's not closing on this one. So add source. So let's see, camera, connect by URL. No, that's not gonna work. So cancel that. Okay, so I'll go back in. Oh, I might have to figure out how to use this camera to come down. Okay, let's see if this works. I wonder what happened. Because everything looks okay. Okay, it's not connecting. All right, so now I'm going to figure out how to do this with just one camera. Okay, so anyway, I was coloring this stamp, and so I have these markers, and so this is, I wanted Calypso Coral. So this is Calypso Coral, and I'm gonna use the brush tip, and I'm just gonna color the small flowers. Some of the small flowers here. That one, I think that's a flower. I think that's a flower. And then this one. And then I've got my Darling Duckling. And let's see. Let's do this one, and this one, and this one. And then Lost Lagoon for our leaves and things. So I'm trying to do this quick because the other stuff is gonna dry. And let's see if I can get this to work on photopolymer. This usually works best on red rubber. Sorry, I should be holding this up. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a test stamp. Test stamp. Okay, it worked. So now I'm gonna color again. So I'm coloring all the leaves in the Lost Lagoon. So Lost Lagoon. So this will work on photopolymer. Okay, so that's all the Lost Lagoon. And then we'll do some Darling Duckling on the big flowers. The lighter color I'm choosing to go on the big flowers. And then we'll put the Calypso Coral on these smaller flowers. And then let's stamp this on a scrap piece of white here. Okay. And here's what we have. So you can see that. So I don't know how to delete this one on there. So, okay. So now I'm gonna fussy cut this a little bit. So let's do the scissors. So we're just gonna go around. And just do like a quick little fussy cut. Okay. Okay. And then I have my little pot here, and I actually stamped this on the envelope because I used that piece of the envelope, so I wanted to use the other pieces of the envelope, so I just stamped them on the envelope. Okay, and this can go underneath here like this. So I can put a little bit of glue along the bottom here. So just tap, 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 tap some glue, and then put this here. Like that. So we have our little piece here. And then I can pop it on my circle here. And then I was gonna add like some texture to this. So I want to use that pattern stamp set. Let's put these markers back and clean this off a little bit. Okay, so this pattern stamp set here, I'm gonna use the Secret Sea color. I think Lost Lagoon would look cool too. Okay. And gonna stamp in the Secret Sea. So here's my first one. So this starts my row here. And then I'm gonna line this up so that it looks like it's one stamp going across the way the stamp is designed, it allows you to do that. So that looks pretty good. And then if you want, we can add a blending brush. So here's my blending brush that I'm gonna use for Secret C. And I'm just gonna rub some color on here. It's gonna be darker on the bottom and then lighter on the top. And then we've got a lot of swirlies here. So here's what it is, what it looks like with color swirled all over it. Let me go here. And then we can add these pieces and our card base, and then the For You piece, like that. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to this, and then I'll show this next time. And then the next one is the typewriter. And so I cut it into a 4x4 square so that I can put it going this way instead of horizontally. So I'm just going to add that on here. Okay, and I'm going to cut this card down. So here's the card. And I guess if you want, you could add like something underneath there. Like you could actually probably add one of these envelope flaps down there. And that might, and then you could tie a ribbon around so you don't see the seam, and then you could put a sentiment down there. That's what I think I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna cut this flap off. Cut the flap off. So I just have the flap, but you could still use this part to stamp on because it's kind of, like I said, a different kind of paper. It's not like a basic white. It's got some little speckles in it. So you can save that and use that for stamping your teapots or whatever. And then I'm just going to make this square. And I'm only gonna need 4. So I'm gonna go to 4. And then we'll do 1 and, actually, how much do I need here? Let's measure. So I'm gonna measure the card here, and it looks like 1 1/4. So 1 1/4. So we'll put it at 1 1/4 here. Okay. And then I just had another idea. I think to make this even better and more seamless, yeah, I'm going to pop it on a piece of Secret C. So I'm gonna use some Secret C, and I'm gonna cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So we've got 4 by 5 1/4. Let's measure that. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm gonna remove what I just put down. And since I want to trim it, I'm going to do my little trick with adding some of these dimensional backgrounds so I don't get adhesive all over my cutting piece. So let's cut. This needs to be 3 7/8, so I think I want to cut this side down. So I'm going to move this over here. And so 3 7/8. Okay, and so now that's the right width, and I can just put that on there, and that looks nice. And then I'm gonna throw those pieces away, and then I'm gonna add this little piece of the envelope that I cut to the bottom, but I gotta trim this one down to 3 7/8, and then 1 1/8, I think. So let's try 1 1/8. So 1 1/8. And yes, that works. So I'm gonna put this one down, and then I'll show you, you can add some ribbon across it so that you don't see, so you won't see the difference. So you can see the line right now, but once I wrap some ribbon around it, you won't see it at all. So I can do the Secret C ribbon, I think would be good, or we could do one of the other colors, but I think Secret C is gonna be best. Or we could do white. We have white. Or maybe Timid Tiger. So let's see here. So I've got my Secret C, got some white. Maybe I'll look at what the white looks like. I think the white would be good. Or the Timid Tiger might be a nice color to do. It would really add some color to it. And then the Secret C would just kind of blend. I'm just gonna go with Secret C because it just kind of blends it all in. So I'm just gonna cut a piece here, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the front to just hold this in place. And so I've got this held in place now. And then I'm gonna add some adhesive to the back here and here, and you can tape it as well. So that will really secure your ribbon. So I'm just gonna grab my tape dispenser. It's good to have around. And we'll get 2 pieces of tape here and tape that down. Okay, so I've got the ribbon taped down behind there. Okay, make sure this is straight. And then I usually pop this layer up, but I'm gonna put it down flat. And we can just go right over the tape. And so I'm just gonna put this right back on my Lost Lagoon. And it's gonna look amazing. And then I can take some of the Secret C and just tie a little knot to make it look like it was wrapped around. So let's do that, or add a bow. But I think I'm just gonna do a knot. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of ribbon, and I'm just gonna do a knot. So I'm going to put the ribbon up through the piece on the card like that. And then I'm just gonna tie a knot. That's it. Just gonna tie a knot. I'm just gonna hold one side and pull on the other side. And it's gonna make this really nice looking knot. So I just held one side and I pulled the other side. And then I can use my scissors to trim this up. So I'll make the tails short because I'm gonna need a sentiment on here. And so now I can put a sentiment down here. So I'll probably put, this circle is from the extra dies that you can get. So I could put, it's kind of too big. So maybe a smaller circle or some kind of, it's like a postage stamp, something. You can put something on there. This is from the Beautiful Butterflies. That might work. I didn't stamp it in the right color, but I think that works like that. Yeah. Or you could just stamp the thank you right there and then just have this be like that. Okay, so that's another one. And then I have, let's see, which one? So this goes with this. And then this one. So this one, I took the window. So I have the little window and I have the thank you piece. So I'll do the same thing on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and make an easel card. So I took one of the backs of the cards, and so this is gonna go inside, and I'm gonna stamp some of the stamps on it. I'm going to use that bunch of flower stamp, and I'm going to use probably thank you again. No, I got to use something else. Okay, let's look. Let's see what we've got. What goes with thank you? Thank you for your constant friendship. You're simply the best. You are loved. How about you're simply the best? Okay, so I gotta look on here. You're simply the best. That's a good one. Okay, so we'll use that one. And we will borrow this block. Okay, and so I'm going to use Secret C, and I'm going to stamp the flower first at the top. So the flower is going to go like this, and this is how the kit suggests for the inside of the cards, so I'm kind of going with that. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment below it. You're simply the best. Okay, so there's the sentiment. And then I'm going to stamp the flower going the other way on the bottom. And that makes a really nice sentiment for inside. And I actually should have put that on a label if it's an easel card, right? So I might re-stamp that and fix that. But for now, I'm just going to add this to the card. So it's going to go inside this card right here. And then what I'll probably do is I'll get like a big circle or a label or something, or maybe I'll just do a label for this and that will be popped up. I think that would be good. Okay, and so now I have this folded part right here. So I'm going to fold this down, and I have my little window here, and I was debating about the background here. And so I think I'm going to use an envelope again. So I'm gonna grab another envelope, and I'm gonna cut this little flap off again, and I'm gonna use it for our background here. So, pardon me, I have a little bit of a nose, sorry. Okay, and cut this, let's see, to 4 inches. So let's go here and here, 4 inches. And then let's see what's the most we can get out of this. 1 3/4. 1 7/8. So I got 1 7/8 out of it. So I'm going to put that at the top here, and let's see what we think. It just adds a little bit more texture to it. I wish I had a full enough piece, but I'm just gonna go with what I have here. So I'm gonna put that at the top. Okay, so that's gonna go on the top. Yeah, so don't forget to use the envelopes. They're good too. Okay, and then this one I'm going to put on dimensionals. So I'm gonna throw away all the extra envelope pieces, and I'm just gonna do 2 dimensionals, one on the top back part. So I've got my 2 dimensionals, and then I am putting this down on the card. So there we go. And then I'm gonna create that little piece that goes across with the "You're simply the best," and it'll stop right there, and it'll be an easel card. So really easy to do. And I can put the thank you on there as well. So let me grab 2 dimensionals here. And sorry, I've been having technical difficulties with the phone doing the hands down view. I'm not sure why, but it just decided not to work. It just decided to stop working. So this camera is still working, so I'm using this camera. Okay, so that's gonna be your easel card. So that's a nice one. And then we just did this card where I cut it to 3 7/8 by 4, and then I used an envelope again, and then some Secret C ribbon to hide the gap there. And then, like I said, save your envelopes, because you can use those. So I have some envelope paper that I can use for other cards, so I can tuck that in there. And then I had one whole card left, and this was for the, which card did it originally go to? It was for this card. So I have one whole one left that I can cut in half and put on card bases, and I could stamp more of the flowers, more of the patterns. I do have one typewriter left, so I think I actually am going to add it to this card. It's just kind of fun to pop it up. So I've got dimensionals already on here. So, I think I did that one wrong. Put it on the wrong side. I don't know if this dimensional is gonna work. So we'll just take that one off, it's okay. And we'll replace it. And so I've got my little piece here, and I'm just gonna add that to the card, and I think that looks super cute that it's popped up. And we can add some of the low profile sparkle dots, because there's Secret C and Darling Duckling. So those are both colors in the kit. So I'm gonna use some Darling Duckling on this one. So let's grab these, and they have large and small dots. So let's put one up here and 2 over here. I love these. They're so sparkly, but nice and small and low profile. So there we go. Yes, thank you, Louise. This is the Farmhouse Florals. It's the August Paper Pumpkin Kit. Okay, so there we go with that one. And then this one, we could do some Secret C on here. A Secret C is so pretty, so sparkly. It's my favorite one of these embellishments. Put one there, and then put one up here. Okay, so I added some of these. So you've got one right here, and one over here, and one up there. So that's our easel card that we're gonna have. These are so low, you could even, I think, put them inside the card too. You could do embellishments inside the card. Okay, so that one's good. And then I'm gonna embellish all these other ones. This one, I added some of the in color flat pearls. I did the Timid Tiger because I thought that matched that Calypso Coral. So that's another good embellishment. And I think I'll do it on this card and this card as well. So I'll put embellishments on these as well. And I'm gonna put it on all of them. So this card, I'm gonna put it on those. And then this card I'll do Secret C as well. And I even made a really, really cute box. I can't show you the front because it's for my exclusive tutorials. So if you place a $50 order this month with me, you will receive the tutorial for this really cute box that I made out of one of the cards. So I just did, where did that lone card go? So I just made, I might make another box. That's what I'll do. I'll make another box out of this. And so this is a really cute box, and I stamped it and added some decorations on the front. It's really cute, some twine and some embellishments. So that is gonna be my paper pumpkin tutorial. No, I'm getting my tutorials mixed up. This is my paper pumpkin tutorial. So that one you get when you're a subscriber, or you can purchase it for $15. So if you subscribe to my paper pumpkin, you get it for free. Or if you just want to purchase the tutorials, they're $15. They'll be on my website. I will be typing it up and it will be available the 1st of September for you. And I'm going to take pictures of all of these lovely alternative cards that I made and post those as well. So those are my ideas on how to stretch your kit and use all those pieces in the kit. Cut those cards in half so you can double, triple, quadruple. I think we quintupled the first kit because we doubled the cards and we did 3 times the envelopes. So I think that's quintupled. But that's definitely the best way to do it, is using the envelopes, cutting the cards in half. Adding embellishments is so fun if it doesn't already have embellishments. And using that, you know, twine is fun too. So this one has this little twine that you can add, and I'm gonna add some of that to some of the other cards. So I'll add that. You know, it look like it's hanging on here on this card, and I'll add some more embellishments. And I will be taking pictures of this as well and putting this on my blog and on my Facebook page. And sorry about the camera. I'm not sure what happened. It's really strange, but I will look into that. And then next week, I am actually going to be taking my daughter to college. So I will not have a live next week. But I will return in September with lots of fun things from the online exclusives and the new catalog coming out September 3rd. I've sent out all the catalogs to almost everyone that's requested some. I still have like 3 or 4 that are still, I'm waiting for, I bought more catalogs, so I'm waiting for those catalogs to come and then I can mail those out. And what was the other? Oh, so if you have not received your catalog yet, please let me know and I can send you another one. Or if you are not working with another demonstrator and you haven't already been on my list and you would like a catalog, let me know. Okay, so ending on important news that I mentioned before I had the technical issues. And some of you might have already heard this news. To me, it's kind of big news. Stampin' Up! Has decided that they are going to phase out their red rubber cling stamps. And since they are doing that, they are going to discontinue these markers, like these markers that I used. And with that, they are going to change the packaging of the stamp sets. Since they're all going to be photopolymer, they're going to be in the same package as the dies. So similar packaging. The packaging will be 9 inches tall. So it will not fit on my storage shelves back over here. The stamp cases are $8. Stampin' Up! Is still currently selling the stamp cases, so if you'd like the stamp cases, you can purchase those and put your stamps in there. I might be doing that. And I have sent a note to Stampin' Up! With some suggestions. I want Stampin' Up! To succeed and bring the sweetness and joy of card making and stamping to everyone. So I suggested to Stampin' Up! That instead of discontinuing all the red rubber, to maybe just do less red rubber sets, but still offer them, especially for doing the coloring technique. And to also reconsider changing the packaging. Although it is thinner and lighter, it's more difficult to organize. And when you're looking for a stamp set, instead of being able to look on the spine like I normally do, the envelope's not going to have a spine. So that will have to be organized in a different bin. So I just sent them some suggestions. These in the whole picture are not something that is going to quell my joy and interest in stamping. I can deal with them, I can adapt, But I just wanted to let Stampin' Up! Know how I felt and add some suggestions and some things for them to consider. If you have comments or things that you would like Stampin' Up! To consider, you can email them at ds@stampinup.com. Ruh-roh. Watch out. No. Just to let them know how you feel about these changes. Definitely, be polite and ask them, to consider things and that you're wanting to give them suggestions. I think that will be more helpful than if you write like a nasty gram to them. So if you have any more questions or want some suggestions on how to adapt or deal with this, I'll be talking more about it in my lives and on my posts. But you can contact me directly as well. I'd love to talk to you about it. So again, if you feel so inclined, you can contact Stampin' Up! And let them know how you feel about these changes. I will be really sad if the markers do retire because I love them and they're wonderful and I use them. So that would be sad. And another thing that I told Stampin' Up! To consider is that maybe they said that they wanted to follow industry standards, which I get, which can be good. But I want them to consider that maybe these things like the stamp cases and the red rubber are what differentiate Stampin' Up!, makes Stampin' Up! Special, and could be core competitive advantages for Stampin' Up! In the market. So I mentioned those things and just wanted to kind of let you know and let everybody kind of digest that and think about that. So it's definitely a big change. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thank you so much for hanging in here with me. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. And I will pick some cards for the raffle in 2 weeks. So if you haven't already, make sure to share and comment. You can comment on the replay and still be entered into the raffle to win the card. And again, like I said, next week I will be off to bring my daughter to college, so there will not be a live, but I will be back in September with some tremendous, amazing ideas for some of the new products from the online exclusives and new mini catalog. If you haven't received the catalog, please let me know. And if you're not on my mailing list and you would like a catalog, let me know as well. I can send you one. And have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in September.